Listen, we're at episode 51.
Yay!
And
I love that as an odd number. I hate even numbers.
We've already been going, and we're going already. And I just
What
want
were
to
we
say,
talking about?
well, we're going to talk about everything. That's for starters.
Okay.
But the first thing that I want to say is it's absolutely wonderful to see the two of you. And I just want to take a moment before this gets started. You guys can introduce yourselves, talk a little bit about yourselves. Also, not too much about yourself, because I don't want this podcast to get, cut off of YouTube, because you, well, the people will see.
I'm sitting.
The people will see as we get going. This is going to be a blast. But again, I just want to start off, first off, Karin, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for a lot of things. Thank you for this. Thank you for me sitting here today. Because it was when I started the Bearded Babbles on Instagram, I don't know how many years ago. I came across you, I believe, through Team Chappelle.
You came across me, but then I came across you.
And we connected, and then
That's
I was
very
doing
weird.
the Babbles. Yes,
He found me first, and then I looked to see who he was.
There you go.
I listened to a podcast that he did where he was sharing his story, and I just thought he was fascinating. And that's when I reached out.
Karin's good like that. She picks up on fascinating people, and I'm like, I'm not interested. But then I find out that they're cool.
She probably realized the next day that she had been drinking that night, and it was probably a mistake, but she was probably already into it. But again, I cannot thank you enough, Karin, for the fact that you helped me find something, because I didn't know what, with the comedy, and then COVID hit, and the comedy kind of slowed down. I didn't know where I was going. I enjoy doing this. I enjoy talking to people, but I didn't realize how much I enjoyed talking to anyone, talking to strangers. And you came up with the idea of something we used to do on Instagram called Stranger Danger.
That was so fun.
I would go on IG Live, and Karin would just bring people in, people that she knew. And I just want to say she knows everybody, in case you don't know.
Everyone.
Everyone. Yes. Karin knows absolutely everyone. I honestly, when you texted me the other day, I'm not going to mention the name, Karin, you asked me about somebody. And I figured you were probably sitting next to that person when you were asking me about that person as a test. We will get into that another time.
I'll tell you what it actually was, why I was asking. I'm working with the Israeli Ministry of Tourism, trying to get to bring a celebrity to Israel for tourism. And they were saying, they're like, oh, do you know any famous chefs? And I was like, I think that Andy does.
I've got some great, I've immediately, as soon as you said that, if not that one, there's one or two that would definitely be perfect for that.
They're really specific. I went through a list of 100 names.
No, it's kosher.
We're pretty close to locking someone in. He's a former retired professional football player that is very religious. So, the whole Christian connection to Israel is very deep. So we'll see.
That sounds very interesting. Yeah. What aren't you involved in? That's another thing. As I was thinking, I'm gonna listen, hold on a second.
When did that happen?
Yeah, when did that happen? I'm sure tomorrow. Tomorrow that'll change. Come on, Austin.
Surprise, boss. Now you're watching this. I quit.
I don't have a job.
I don't have a job.
She's also not involved. She's not involved in my love life in the way. She actually is, because she's the love of my life, but in a different way, not in a romantic way.
With all due respect, ALISA, your love life is not.
I don't have a love life. We don't. What do you? There's nothing to talk about.
Funny, Andy? I feel like there's some women who say that but don't actually mean it. ALISA means it. She really doesn't have a love life.
But this right here, at least this is your love life right here. We love you, and this is your life. So this is your love life.
I needed this.
I'm
People
telling you,
need this.
We've talked about this for a while. It's been a while since the three of us have been on, and we've talked about this, and we've tried to get this. And I'm so grateful. When I said to Karin yesterday, I said, let's set this up, and then all of a sudden she was like, 7:45 tomorrow. I'm like, PM. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah, me too. She was like, do 7:30. What time? And I was like, I don't know. I've got pole dancing. That sounds weird. And then she was like, okay, well, when can you do? I'm like, can I just get home? But I'm sick, so I didn't go today because I don't want to sneeze all over everybody. So here I am looking even worse than I probably would if I went to a class, but she's on it. Whereas everybody else is like, yeah, we'll do it. But she's like, what time are we doing it?
If you would like to have your pole dance here on the show, you can. If you want to,
I don't have a pole here, but if I was in LA, you know,
you've got pipes in the building, right? There are pipes.
Yeah, they're horizontal.
Yeah, you can hang on there. What's the worst that'll happen?
Like this.
You're gonna hang on dem hose.
Dem hose.
Hose.
So now hold on, Karin, you're without a job, but you're in Philly right now.
Yeah.
And that's another thing that I want to thank you about is for living vicariously through your extensive travels. So
yeah,
where have you been in the past 2 years?
My God.
Yes, here we go.
With the 1 year, because my God, she's been to when she was staying with me, she was like going to like 5 different countries in like a week. I remember that.
I remember that. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Let's start with the last 6 months.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. You got to narrow it because 2
steps.
years.
Yeah, I was in Israel.
I think the only continent she hasn't been to is Africa.
No, I haven't been to South America. And I have not been to Eastern Asia. I keep going to like places in Europe and all over the US.
Yeah.
So like I was in Scotland and Amsterdam and Prague. I was in Prague in October. I'm sure there's some other ones scattered in there.
Yeah, it just forgets. I've been in my basement for the past 3 years.
Forgot. Like
she forgot.
I did something like 30 conferences this year, like internationally. So it was just a lot.
I think I put maybe 40 miles on my van in the past 2 years.
Traveling, it's interesting. It's really fun, but like after a while, you're just like, okay.
No, I don't.
It's like I'm like
it depends on the length. If you're doing short spurts of big travel, that's when you're exhausted. But if you're doing like long, like I'm going to go to France for like a couple weeks and I'm going to go to Italy for a couple of weeks, and that's different. But you're doing like short, like 3 days here, 4 days there, and then traveling.
Yeah. It definitely burned me out. Like I'm burned out.
I'd be so moody, and I'm already a moody. Well, I'm not.
Dude,
moody,
I don't even want to like go downtown now.
Now, for those who don't know, ALISA, where are you? You're in?
I'm currently in Australia, but I live in, I'll just say California.
Now,
but I live between both. I just chase summers. Wherever it's summer, I'll be there.
How long is that commute? That flight?
It's 15 hours.
Oof, wow. Oof.
Wait, and I don't pee on the plane. Yeah. It's about 14 to 15. So when you're coming from LA on the flight to Australia, it's about 14 hours. You got the wind up your ass, or is it the other way around? And then the other way, it's longer, I think. Or am I getting it mixed up? I don't know. Look, I'm sedated, so I'm sleeping. Yeah, I think it might be the opposite way.
It's longer to arrive in Australia.
But I think, but I'm literally.
I love how she described it. She's like, because you get the wind up your ass.
The wind up your ass.
Well, you do. You get the wind up your ass. You go a bit faster. But I don't.
The airplane's just getting shoved in the ass.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's the wind. I think it's the Earth rotation.
No, it's the wind.
Oh.
I don't know. That's my dad says, but my dad also says a lot of shit, so I don't know.
Say hi to your dad for all of us, please. And I can't wait to meet him when you guys come out here.
He's like, who's Andy? I want to meet him. He sounds nice. I'm like, fuck, do you have to steal all my friends? I went to a wedding when I first arrived here, my friend Andrew, and he's like, we're going to
right, by the way, it's jet streams that make it go faster.
Jet streams?
Yeah, it's air. It's and wind up your
the
butt.
wind up your ass.
I'm telling I don't speak shit. I mean, I do.
Jet streams are the most basic high altitude air currents caused by atmospheric heating and inertia of the Earth's rotation.
So it's a bit of both.
Hold on. Speaking of the Earth's rotation, do you know what's going on with the Earth's rotation?
Is it
going slower or fast? We're going faster.
It was, I think in 2018, they realized that the magna inside the core of our planet, that is literally the sun, there's a sun inside of our planet. It actually stopped spinning, and they realized just recently that it's actually going the opposite way of what it used to spin. So the liquid inside of the center of the Earth stopped in 2018 and now is spinning the other way. And I don't think anybody really has any idea of what that means or what it's going to go. What do you think it means?
Karin, you'll know. She's probably got a chart on this on the wall about it.
Well, I mean, what,
There you
that the magnum is spinning in one direction and then spinning in the other direction now?
Yeah. Yeah. And
I
this,
mean, I
yeah.
think
That's
it's
how we're all
exactly, I mean, I think it's exactly what it sounds like, is like, you know, if it's spinning this way and then it turns.
But what does it mean for us as human beings?
Well, I mean, if it's already spinning the opposite direction, I don't think it means much.
We're not going to get.
But I mean, I'm
spinning around.
sure it has some kind of impact. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be impacted. I don't know what that would look like because, you know, I'm not an astrophysicist or
You might as well be.
I did study physics and I love physics. When Alisa was sitting next to me, like I was like listening to TikTok and she's like, I feel like I'm like sitting in like an academic course. What did you say?
It was the most boring side of TikTok. Actually, I had a nap. If you want to have a nap, sit in Karin's this, unless you like this stuff. This is no, I don't want to insult anyone actually. So anyway, fuck it. If you want to have a really good nap, if you get insulted, that's life. I'm insulted all the time. So if you want to have a nap, listen, it's not Karin's voice that will put you to sleep. That won't put you to sleep. That will wake you up. But whatever she's listening to, whatever group she's like part of, you will have a fucking plus naps, really good naps. Even when I was in my room and she stayed at my house and she was doing Zoom calls with people, nap time.
Wow.
I just knew it was soothing.
So
because she would then she can tell me the information later, what it was about. She can just compress it like to like, you know, an email size of a Zoom call.
So Karin has the cure for my insomnia.
Just log into the Zoom.
Listen to my TikToks.
Go into it.
Just a bunch of astrophysicists talking about the Earth's axis.
No, but it's all like tech people and stuff as well, which like, again, run the world and appreciate you and love all that stuff. Great. Thank you for everything.
So about the Earth is spinning faster.
It helps sleep if you don't know enough about it to understand.
Take a nap now. I'm like, all right, you guys, this podcast has changed into the sleeping podcast. I'm going to talk to you about the Earth spinning.
Don't Google this shit.
To someone.
That's a reputable source. Do I reference that in APA style? How do I reference that?
There's a lot of crazy scientists out there, so you can't always believe everything you hear. But it does say that the Earth is changing speed. I'll have to read about this to see if it's something
Earth's gone faster. That's why time's gone faster or something. So time is actually going faster. That's the one thing that I did read. I don't know what year it is anymore, but I did read it recently that time is going faster, and it's not just us. As we get older, it's actually going faster.
Is that related to the wind up your ass?
Probably. As long as it's not coming out.
That's how this all started, was just the wind up your ass. That's where we are now. That's why I love talking to you.
It was cat poop. I had to pick it up. So, Dad, just scream hi. Just say hello. Say hello.
No.
Hello. Yes.
Just saying hello to you. He went for a walk and he can barely lift his arm up. He waved at me. Go. You've been excused. I'm like the devil wears Prada.
So it looks like that the Earth's core rotation stopped spinning around the year 2009 and then restarted in the opposite direction. Now, the fact that we don't feel any difference here means that it's probably not that serious. Yeah, let me read about this for a second. You guys talk about something else and I'll tell you.
I'm telling you, but now when she does this shit, she goes, she's fixated.
Listen, I have to thank you, Elise, for something that comes from Australia, which I have found to be the greatest television show.
Stuff.
No. The what?
Is it not Vegemite? And don't diss Vegemite.
No, I don't. I don't diss Vegemite. No, listen, Vegemite is part of Mr. Bean and part of the whole thing, so I can't diss Vegemite.
No, he does Mama.
But he does. He had Vegemite in one or two.
Mr. Bean loves Vegemite doesn't mean you have.
Mr. Bean is the fucking best.
I didn't say that he wasn't, but I said just because he loves Vegemite doesn't mean you have to also.
Yes, it does.
No, if you have an allergy to peanuts and you love Mr. Bean and he loves peanuts, doesn't mean you should have peanuts.
I mean,
no, you should. If you love Mr. Bean, I think even if you have the peanut allergy, you need to push through it. It's for Mr. Bean. Mr. Bean is God.
Just get that EpiPen out and go
yeah,
for it.
yeah, really. What's a little swelling in the face or your throat? I mean,
know.
so it's a couple of minutes of not breathing so well. Oh,
What are those allergy injection shots called?
EpiPen.
EpiPens, yeah.
What's one EpiPen?
Why are you repeating my joke a minute after I said it?
Is that what you said?
Oh my God. No, you can't understand me anymore. Am I that Australian now that I'm back here for a while?
Dude, when you go back to Australia, you become more Australian.
This is true. I become more of an asshole. But I'm a relaxed asshole.
You have the best. I'm always like undecided whether it's like the UK or Australia who has the best comedy. And it's like
England's really good. England is really good.
Yeah, but you guys get dark over there though. You guys can go really dark.
We get, I'm obsessed with like Faulty Towers. Old English humor is good. Like Tom Gleeson. So John Gleeson, not Tom Gleeson. Tom Gleeson is an Australian comedian.
That's his
brother. John Gleeson. He is like I love him. So he was in Monty Python. So that's there's the English comedy, and he's quite dark on it too. But I know we watched Carl Barron, Karin and I, and she was dying because it's more observational humor. Yeah. It was more observational humor, and it's just like, again, Australians won't tell you. If you ask us how we are, Australians will tell you how we're not. So if you say, how are you? We'll go, not bad. Say, where you going? Not far. How much is that? Not much. Okay. Like, we will tell you how we're not doing. We won't tell you how we are. It's just observational humor. I'm not doing it how Carl Barron's doing, but it's really just funny. And it's so good.
You do understand though that right now the greatest television show on TV for children, for parents, for Bluey.
My clients are like, thank you for the show. Like, I fucking produced it. I've never watched one episode. I didn't know it existed until the Americans told me about it.
It is so, it's one of those things that it's of course it's for kids, it's a cartoon, but the adults that write it, oh my God, they probably have the darkest, there's just stuff slipped in there and you're like, they are just getting like, oh yes, it's so adult oriented. And the thing that's great about it is I think every parent, when you become a parent, should have to watch that show, because that is the best show on parenting, because it's real. It's when you'll see I guess the comedy aspect of it. The father is very sarcastic with the kids, very, and making them and pushing them and making them do things in a fun way, in a very fun way. And that's, it's again, the best show on TV, Bluey, without a doubt.
I'm going to have to watch one episode just to see like what the hype is about, because everyone loves it. And I'm sitting here watering plants. I don't know what anyone's doing.
It's got that Disney adult, like Disney always did things where they threw stuff in for the adults when,
right.
Movies.
Yeah.
And it's that's what that whole show is. They really made it where, okay, listen, the parents are going to have to sit there and watch this crap. We're going to make it fun for them.
Oh,
that's good. That's actually really good. Karin, take fucking notes. Don't Google everything as you're talking about it.
I'm taking notes. This is blue.
You're Googling it as we do it. Take notes. Just take the notes. So you don't have to Google it as we speak, and you can look at it later.
Head.
That's what. No, you don't take notes in your head. You'll forget it. Write it down physically.
No, this is how you practice and sharpen your brains.
Oh, mine's a bit curved, like the rest of my body.
Mine's flat.
Flat.
ALISA commented on a picture from like 11 years ago of her sleeping in my bed in New York or something, and she's like, oh, this is the time where you shut the door on my head.
Because I was lying on the floor and you shut the door and my head was still there because I was on the floor. I was.
What was your head doing on the floor in the doorway?
How did I wake up in your bra? That's the other. I think that's the main question.
Be happy that you had a bra.
Correct. It wasn't anything weird. It was just, I guess, I needed something to sleep in, and she didn't have a shirt, so she goes.
This was a really long time ago, by the way. This was
2010. Okay, so we were in our early 20s. This is not now when our knees crack when we get up.
Dude, my
I was falling upstairs, not downstairs. I was literally falling upstairs. I don't know how that happens. Like physics fucked with me there, and was like,
you know what it must be, the Earth's magnum rotation.
Starting around 2009. Yeah,
it just fucks you up. You're walking up the stairs and it was fucking.
That's right. Yeah.
Or you got some wind up your ass.
The wind, I think it blew. Yeah, that's right. The wind up my ass, but it came to. I think the wind went on my head, so I went the other way because I fell. So I don't know what happened there. And then, I was still on the floor. She's trying to shut the door on my head, and then I woke up the next morning in her bra and some pants because she didn't have a shirt. I don't think. I don't really remember a lot of that.
ALISA and I would just have like laughing fits.
Oh, that we wouldn't even talk.
Just couldn't breathe. We would just
we still do. What do you mean? It's like the past. We when we call each other on FaceTime on WhatsApp, she's on my phone. When we call, no Android this, whatever, but
we need to talk on the phone more instead of like
I know we should.
Or
instead of sending you 20-minute voice notes.
She sends the longest voice notes. I'm like, I feel like I have to
BABBLE
podcast every time. I'm
welcome to my TED Talk. It's free. Enjoy. You're welcome.
That's a good message for everyone. Everyone needs to call people. Nobody does that anymore. We all just, it's a quick text. It's a quick,
but
nobody calls.
Quick text is okay though sometimes, you know?
Yeah, oh yeah.
But she'll send me like, I'm not exaggerating, like a 7-minute voice note.
No, 20 minutes even. I've shortened it to 7.
Yeah, so like, but she's just talking and like she pauses in the middle and she'll be
it's a TED Talk. And people would charge me for that. So you're welcome.
Dude, I hear you, but I have to find time to listen to it. So instead of doing that, call me.
But the thing is, what happens is when we call each other, we don't even say hello. We see each other's faces. We might look great. We might look not great. I don't know why. I'll speak on myself. And we will just start laughing. There's no reason. There's no words. We just start laughing at each other, just knowing that we're going to laugh.
I know why I laugh at your face.
Because I always look like I'm miserable. Because when I answer the phone, she calls me and I'm like, and then we start laughing.
You guys need to have your own show. You guys, what you can do next time you guys call each other, just record it and send it to me and I'll put it on here because it's a show. That's what I love about
you on it.
Now, how long have you guys been friends?
Since 2010. 13 years.
13 years, yeah.
Can I just get a couple of adventures? Because just the simple, somehow we got into the thing and you ended up sleeping in her bra. Can I get just another?
I'll tell you one good story, but I think I've mentioned this before. And then, so we'll go back and forth. But I feel like first we need to give you, Andy, we need to give you some props for putting this all together and getting us all together and spreading love
your background
and then
so
spreading really nice memories and stuff like that. Like, nobody thinks of this stuff anymore. Everyone's making podcasts about narcissistic personality disorder. Who's talking about other things, like people who are making those. I didn't mean I have it. I mean other people do. And all this other like worldwide stuff. But you're trying to bring people together. That's different. That's nice. That's a really, really nice and unique thing. No one's bringing people together anymore. People are just trying to. I don't know if they're not spreading hate, but they're spreading knowledge.
All right, give him an adventure. What's the adventure story?
No, okay. I'm sorry, Karin. I stopped talking nicely about Andy. Jesus. The one time I'm nice, she shuts me down and she goes, she's a bitch. First of all, that's how she used to introduce me to people. This is bitch. This is ALISA, but she goes by bitch. And I was like, it's true, I do.
I mean, it's better that I prepare people ahead of time.
About me.
Because then they don't get upset when you act like a bitch because they're like,
I've told this story already, but it's like it's a really good story because it just shows how Karin gets excited about things. So Waka Flocka was at the club and Karin went up, and you know how I'm very honest, like especially if I've been drinking juice. So yeah, I thought I said juice for a second. I don't drink juice, I drink juice. So especially if I've been drinking juice, she went up to him and she's like, oh my God, Waka Flocka. And she's talking, she's networking.
I remember this.
You know where this is going. You know where this is. And she goes up, she goes, ALISA, come on. So she comes, she goes, oh my God, ALISA's your biggest fan. And I was like, and I looked up at him because he's a tall guy. And I was like, why are you lying to him? Straight to his face. And he's just looking down at me. He didn't know what to do. He's Waka Flocka. He's at the height of his career right now as well. I'm like, why are you lying to this man? It's Tupac. Why would you lie to him like that? Anyway, so he was like, it's all right. Like, we start talking. Karin's like, just what are you doing? Like,
just pretend you're his biggest fan.
That's exactly what she said. Just pretend, but loudly enough that he could hear it. And he was like, just give me a hug. So he just gave me a hug. There was no weird shit happening. He was with Tammy at the time, whatever. No weird shit. I was not interested. He wasn't interested. Just hug. And I was just like, why are you lying? We both walk off babbling. Like, why are you lying to this guy? Why couldn't you just pretend? We walk off like two married couple in a club.
Yeah, you should have just played along and be like, you're my favorite.
I don't do that. B,
so
why would you lie to him and say he's my favorite now when I'm like two packets everywhere?
I'm like, I wonder, do you think that there is anybody out there that like that Waka Flocka is their favorite rapper?
Yeah, I mean, he was at the time. At the height of his career, was huge. He was huge. He had so many hits. I did love him. I really liked his
favorite.
Music.
Do you think anybody?
He's a nice guy.
Do you think he's anyone's favorite?
Write it in your notes and Google it. And I'm sure it's on Reddit somewhere. Don't look it up now. She's looking it up now. I can see her eyes going down. She's already looking down. Fucking.
Oh, his birthday is close to my birthday.
Oh.
I told you she's already fucking Googling the shit. You can't help yourself.
Oh my God, did you know that Waka Flocka has a doctorate?
Yeah.
He's got a PhD.
I think it was given to him by the university, or did he get it because he went to school and did his PhD? He
has his PhD in philanthropy and humanitarianism.
Yeah, he's really into humanitarian. He did the no hate.
Wow.
Yeah, his brother died from suicide.
I would have never.
His brother died from suicide. He's a vegan or vegetarian. He's a really he's good in that regard.
What's another adventure, Alisa? Give us another adventure.
Another one? I think mine are censored. Why don't you give a nice censored one?
I don't remember.
There are so many nights that I said I'm going home and I woke up in Brooklyn, and I lived in Harlem at the time.
I lived
because the woman was like, just come with me. Okay, so this is, and actually this was terrible. I'm not going to say that one. That's really bad. I don't want to endorse that. But oh my God, there was one where Karin broke my toe. I broke it? You fucking serious? This happened 2 years ago, bitch. You know you broke my toe.
Oh, drama on Bearded Babble. Ooh.
Don't you remember in Austin? We were getting into the car and you were a bit too excited to get into the car. She put her, like, I wasn't fully into the back. It was like a SUV kind of thing. And she pushed her seat back. And so for the entire time I was in Austin with the Chappelle crew, my toe was broken. Now somebody went up to me and broke their leg there. That's a different story. And that's their story to tell. But yeah, my index toe. Is that a thing? Your index toe? Don't Google what the name of it is.
Index toe.
Yeah, the one next to your big toe.
I guess it'd be your index
toe. I'm gonna Google it and find out what
second toe.
Yeah, my second toe. But she's gonna tell you what it is right now.
Karin, your response to this accusation of the injury?
It's definitely. Yeah. Do you know how long it took me to recover for that? And then I broke it again, a different one on the other foot when I was doing pole a few months later. But that was more hurtful. My fat ass landed on it. What are some other stories that we've got, Karin?
I don't know.
There are so many. Oh, you know what? We manifested. Should we tell how we manifested, how we ended up in this situation? You tell.
Oh, yeah, with the Chappelle thing. Oh,
yeah, I'll probably interrupt you. Tell the story.
Yeah, this was a weird one. So like we went to a comedy show. Like I went to visit ALISA.
The improv in LA.
Yeah, and like I went to visit her, and I was like, oh, let's go to a comedy show. It was like a random Monday, and we like just picked a comedy club that was like near her house.
D-Ray. It was a Monday night with D-Ray. It was like Chocolate Monday or something like that.
Yeah, Chocolate Mondays, and it was like some people like, but nobody we really knew in terms of the lineup. And when we got there first, because I was like, let's get us a center table. And Lisa's like, okay, whatever. She's just like,
say okay how I would say it.
Oh, okay.
There you go. I wasn't. You said that a bit too enthusiastically. That story.
So we so we're standing there like in the line, like first in line, waiting to get seated, but the doors are still closed. And there's a sign. There's a picture of Dave Chappelle on the wall in black and white. And I was like, ALISA,
I'll send it to you, Andy.
I was like, let's take a picture of like you walking by this. It was like him doing stand-up, you know? I was like, let's take a picture of like you walking by, and I'll try to frame it to make it look like Dave Chappelle is performing and you're just like walking by his set, you know? I was like, so I like took a couple pictures, and she's like walking by awkwardly by the picture, you know, like to try to make it. We just try to stage it. And I was like, oh, we could like pretend that we saw Dave here, blah, 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 whatever. And so we took a couple of those photos. Anyway, we go in, we sit down, Next thing we know, Dave Chappelle.
Hang on. No. It didn't start like that. D-Ray goes, oh, hang on, there's a big celebrity here. And then David Blackson, Michael
Blackson.
Yeah. Okay. Look at me, my dyslexia. The fuck is David
And then
Blackson?
Donnell came out.
No, David Blackson came on, and then he goes, I hate it when he says the N-word a lot, so I can't say, but he's like, oh, you want to act tough just because there's a more famous celebrity than you. D-Ray said that to him. It's like, who's more famous than me? And then Donnell comes up. And then the next thing after that, you hear after Donnell comes up, and he killed the show. And Donnell was amazing. And actually, KARIN tried to give him a drink, and he's like, I don't want that drink. You probably spiked the bitch. I don't think he realized it was KARIN, and they know each other.
Yeah,
so I'm like, people drinks. Yeah, you knew him. And so I was like, don't give people drinks. And she's like, whatever. And then all you hear, the lights go off, and you just hear a flick, like a lighter, like Lil Wayne, except. And then Dave came on and did his set, and everyone went fucking wild.
And how many hours was that set?
Oh my God.
It was a lot longer they went over, but it was nuts.
It ended up on TMZ too, because Michael Blackson's car was hit outside.
His car. Yeah. There was a drunk driver that killed everyone's cars that night, but it was just weird that we manifested. I don't know if we manifested, but whatever, like just then the things that happened from there, here we are. Like, we wouldn't be here with you.
We have so it's funny because from that night, we have pictures of ALISA walking by the Dave Chappelle picture.
Yeah, so I said I'll send it over to Andy. Well, so now whenever we go there, she's like, take a photo next to Adam Sandler. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be in a movie with I'm like, I'll be in a movie with Adam Sandler, because that's how, if I was to ever be famous for my acting, that's how I would live, like him. Just like, I'd wear sweats and shit. Like, I wouldn't even give a shit. Yeah, pretty. That's how the fame I would be. Like, you don't get my private life, you get me in sweats. That's technically my private life.
Absolutely.
That's how you would get me.
Now, listen, should we tell KARIN that you're learning your photoshopping skills? I've been teaching you how to create some memes.
Yes. I'm trying. I tried to post me.
You've been doing very well, by the way. Very impressed with your
very
meme.
Sweet lie.
No, you picked it up very quickly. I was very impressed with your photoshopping skills.
I tried to make me that, like, I was leaning on the spoon of a Vegemite, in Vegemite. Oh, no, not a spoon, a knife. I'm the only one that eats Vegemite from a spoon. But then I tried to make it like I was jumping in, and then I was like, it just, all you can see is like, it looks like the moon on top of a Vegemite thing. So I was like, I don't know how to, I'm trying to get me to jump in nicely, but I literally just, when I jump into something, hurdle, I need to stretch out more so it looks nicer.
We'll fix that. We'll take care of that.
I gotta fix that. Oh, my voice just broke. So yes, he's been teaching, but he got grandfathered into the app. I had to pay.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. When she asked me what app I used, I told her, and she was like, is it this much? You know, it was a couple of bucks or whatever. I got it, I think, when it first came out so many years ago, when it didn't even have half the stuff that it had.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wait, which app is it?
Juxtaposer.
So
it's really cool.
It's very simple. I've been using it before. I mean, I've been creating memes forever. Before that, I was using apps that weren't specifically for doing that. I was using, it was funny. I was using an app that I found that was about makeup for women, that allowed you to put, it allowed you to put a picture, and then it allowed you to put different like eyebrows and stuff like that. But in that folder, it allowed you to put whatever you wanted to. So I was like, wait a second, I could put whatever picture I want, and I could put whatever pictures I want in the folder to put on top of it. And I was creating memes through a makeup app years ago. And then when I finally found an app that actually did it, I was, but yeah, I've been a memer forever.
That's so big, how much. That's why when I look at like myself in filters all day, and then I have to humble myself very quickly and remember what I really look like, and it's not the filtered version. I'm like, why aren't there stars everywhere? Where's my doggy like nose and ears?
You are beautiful. Both of you are absolutely beautiful.
KARIN, your skin's like glowing.
Thanks. It's MAC.
Because what? Take that back. Is that what you said?
MAC.
It's MAC.
Oh, it's MAC. Oh, you're wearing makeup for this? Did I miss the memo?
No,
you need a beard or makeup?
No, I put on makeup earlier I went out to dinner with my boyfriend's mom.
What I did for this, and it was a big thing for me, because yesterday I was very happy because tonight, right before I was getting ready to come on, I looked in the mirror and I saw some nose hairs, and I grabbed my nose hair trimmer because as you can tell, I'm a slightly hairy person. So I trim my nose hairs, but you don't understand. My nose hair trimmer, I am so happy because a couple of days ago, I went to use my nose hair trimmer, and when it got up there, it like hit the tree trunk and it just like, and I'm just like, oh, and I was like moving it around, and I was like, this
What
is
does that mean? Did you break it?
Well, it like it just stopped. It was just like the motor just and I'm just like, and I'm like looking at it, and all of a sudden the top popped
Can't you
off.
just get like a little scissor and just
No, listen, no, this is crazy. This is do you see the sign here behind me? This is made out of nose hairs that's what that is. These are my nose hairs. And the top popped off of the nose hair trimmer, and there had to be 2 pounds of nose hairs. I didn't realize it was like a vacuum type thing. And it was like confetti everywhere. But I was like, oh my God, now my nose hair trimmer works. So I'm happy. It's the simple things in life. Tonight I was like, and it cleaned it all out, and I'm happy.
Did you have to clean the nose hair confetti?
Shh, it's still probably in the bathroom. Don't tell Jen, okay?
I mean,
She's gonna keep it on.
She's gonna see this.
Watch this episode.
She'll see this episode, and then I'll clean it up.
Hopefully by then it'll be cleaned up. She's gonna be like, why is there hair in my food? Where's this little short piece of gray hair from? And you're gonna be like,
nose hair confetti. It's fun.
I was breathing really heavily through my nose, and it just all came out.
Have you ever considered like doing something special with your beard, like maybe making it rainbow or braiding it?
I've messed around. I've done some braiding. Jenny's messed around with braiding it. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, with Photoshop, I've put colors in it, but I've never actually colored it. I do know a lot of people connected to a lot of people that do color theirs, and it is pretty cool. Some patterns. There's a guy that I know. He works with the Cincinnati Bengals, and he goes like all out. Like he's like a somewhat of a mascot, and he paints his beard. And I don't know. I don't know what to do with the beard.
Why did you start growing a beard? What made you start growing it? That's what are we covering something up?
There's a lot of interesting things behind the beard. I always had a goatee. I told Jenny when we first started dating umpteen years ago, I said, just so you know, you're going to be stuck with a long-haired, long beard guy. You know, if you stay with me, this is what you're going to get. And I just felt that about myself. I always felt that. I think we've touched on the fact that I'm adopted.
No.
Well, I'm adopted, and that's where a lot of it comes in. I knew that I was adopted as a child. I never knew anything about my birth family. When Jenny and I got married and we were planning to have children, we started doing the research and looking for my birth family, which was an entire journey in itself.
Yeah.
And then when we got the first picture of my birth father, my birth parents, pretty much what you see here right now is everything. Wow. Everything. I'll send you a picture.
Full on wood weird.
Stuff. So you felt like you were a bearded person before this?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So this is me, and it's one of those things. And I think that it says a lot about who you are. Like I never knew my siblings, my birth siblings. I never knew them. Didn't meet them until I think it was my late 20s. And it's interesting to find out that you have things in common with people that you've never met, that they never even knew that I was alive. I didn't know. I didn't know when my parents here adopted me. Part of the whole thing was I was adopted from Florida because a lot of the states were having problems with children going back to the families. Florida was one of the few states that once the adoption was done, that was it. There was no going back.
Right. So
that's why they went through. But there was a lot of problems. But it was basically, in a nutshell, my birth mother didn't want me to be brought up in the environment that was going on, which she was absolutely correct in doing so. She told the family that day, they were on the beach in Miami. She told the family she was with a friend. She said that it was all planned for a C-section. They went to the hospital. She said again, it's an interesting family dynamic, that the whole story behind that. But she came back and she told the family that I didn't make it because she had set up an adoption she did not want me brought. And talking with my birth siblings over the years, they agree that I was the lucky one.
Wow.
Wasn't horrible.
So many times from some of my clients that's happened with, where they've found half siblings and stuff, and they're like, you're lucky you didn't have to grow up with the biological side of the family.
it wasn't a horrible, it was a weird situation. I don't want to get too much into it right now. It was a very weird, very different situation. Like I said, I've met everybody.
You told me before that you had like an interesting birth situation, but you never shared it.
It's very interesting. I've talked about it on earlier Bearded Babbles. I'm gonna have to get into it one day. I actually have somebody ask me. We're gonna talk about.
I think you should write a book about it.
It's the thing. My birth father, before he passed, was writing a book. I don't know whatever happened with it, but just briefly, he drove the boat for the Rolling Stones. He was a major cocaine dealer. He was caught. A lot of people died involved in some stuff that he was involved in. He fled to Mexico. He was in a Mexican prison for a couple of years.
Oh,
he like there are so I could give you about 50 different things right now that are just like wows. Yeah, his life was chaotic. Very chaotic. And I think that was the whole thing, to find out when I was looking for my birth family, just to find out the medical history, because we wanted to have kids. And then to find all that out, it was like, wow, you know, it's just amazing. But again, it goes back to that. I think I knew who I was. I think I don't think the world created who I was. I think I knew who I was all along, because I knew that this is who I was. And like I said, as soon as I saw that picture, Jenny and I actually left, and when we saw the first picture, because I guess hippie is the correct word. They were hippies right up until, you know, the end. So when we got the picture, we were like, oh, that must be from the 70s. And the detective that I was working with from Miami at the time said, no, that's a recent picture. And it was like, okay, like, so again, a lot of it is in you, who you are.
In nature versus nurture, isn't it? I was a twin and died before birth. My dad's like, you kicked that twin out of your mum because she didn't want to share. And I think that's true. Only the strong survive. So I was like, I don't want to share anything. So I always wonder if that side of me, like my mum was like, I thought it was a boy and a girl. And so I'm such a tomboy. I wonder if that's that in me.
That's very interesting. Like I said, I was told from a very early age, my parents didn't hide it from me, that I was adopted. I had books, The Chosen One. So I knew, and I would ask questions. Yeah, I knew all about it. They, like I said, they signed a thing that basically
like an NDA almost.
Yeah, my birth mother did not want anything. Yeah. My father said the day that they got me from the hospital, he was walking by a room and he said he saw a woman. He said it was absolutely gorgeous, and he believed that was my mom. And of course, years later, she was a what was she? She was a Miss Indianapolis 500. She was in the Village Voice. She was a model. She was, like I said, just everything about this. Like I said, we were just hoping just to find out about medical history. And then we find out
where you got your modeling genes from.
It's like I said, you find out a lot talking to the siblings. We did a lot of the same things. We feel a lot of the same ways. We are a lot of the same person. So
how does that feel, just knowing that you've, not that you didn't fit in before, but knowing that there's people who can understand where you're coming from versus now you're understood?
I want to touch on a point that you just talked about too, with the twin things. Like I said, I was told that I might have had siblings. Again, they weren't sure. So I always kind of had this thing that I may have a brother or sister out there. I don't know. My birth siblings were told that I died, that I didn't survive the birth. My birth brother always knew. He said it's not that he didn't believe his mother. He said that he always felt that he had a brother somewhere. He always felt that. So that was an interesting thing too, that what was there a connection there that we still did feel. And now that was an interesting thing too with
is he older, or he would be younger than you, right?
I know I have two older sisters. I have an older brother and I have a younger half brother.
So it was the older brother who felt like you were still out there.
Yeah. He
That's
always
so
felt,
nice.
Yeah.
That's really special.
Yeah, it's
again, I don't have siblings, but so do you have any? Did you grow up with siblings then in your family?
Yeah,
that you grew up with. Yeah,
I have a sister that I grew up with.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And Karin, you've got Go Yarov. And
Yeah.
I've got plants.
And cat poop.
Yeah, I could live without that. I honestly, I've never seen such big cat poop like I did before. So it's song. I thought I was honestly, if somebody climbed into my house somehow and pooped in, it wouldn't surprise me because it looked human.
Now, would that be a surprise to you being in Australia? Now, like I said, I see what I see, and what I see here in America is you have the scariest animals in the world over there.
And the north, it's more on
insects.
the north part. But I know we had a huntsman in our house the other day, but
What's a
they're
huntsman?
harmless to us.
Spider.
Huntsmen, they're like bigger than my hand, right? It's probably the size of your beard, maybe even. Yeah, and it's hairy, and it looks unfriendly. But they keep away mosquitoes, they keep away other spiders, like they're really good in that. The only problem is, so they don't have webs. So if you go and try to catch them, because I like to just catch them in a jar with paper and put them outside, I wouldn't even be too scared to pick them up. The problem is they jump at you if they feel like they're being attacked. That I don't like. I'll punch it in the throat. Like, I just don't like anyone jumping at me, whether it's animal, human, insect, nothing.
Yeah, a spider
Like
the size
June
of my
bugs
hand.
over there. June bugs over there scared the shit out of me. I was more scared of a June bug than I am of a snake here, to be honest with you.
June bug is,
I don't know, what are those big blind bugs that bump into your head all the time over there in America? What are they called?
what are they? The ones that burn to the ground.
That's what they do.
What are they? Every couple of years.
They?
Yeah. I think that's another. Yeah, we here in Jersey call things very differently than other. But I know. Yeah, June bug. It's something else. Cicada, I think. No,
not cicadas, because we've got cicadas here too. Okay. We call them cicada. You call oregano, we call it oregano. But no, they're like this black that just go into your head. Yeah, because somebody said you should have, one of my friends, so actually I'll shout him out, Edie, from the Outlaws. He was like, you should, it's ages ago, he's like, you should have, if you're not feeling well, it's really good, oregano. And I was like, what's oregano? He's like, yeah, it's a spice. And I was like, never heard of it. He's like, you've never heard of oregano? And can you just imagine like the conversation? So we're having this conversation for 5 minutes. And I'm like Googling it. I'm like, how do you spell oregano? And it's spelled exactly the same as oregano. And I'm like, it's oregano. We've got a similar thing. Like, and then I'm still really slow. He's driving, so he's not really concentrating. And he's driving. And I'm like, we've got a similar thing called oregano. And we put it, in pasta. He's like, yeah, we do that with oregano. And I'm like, I just added it up. Same thing. Smart. That's how I got my master's degree.
That is
really good.
It's a wonderful light bulb moment there.
So those big bugs, they scared me. And also I didn't know until recently that those lightning bugs that you've got, apparently we've got them here in the outback, so I haven't seen them, but I was running because everyone said, yep, they can electrocute you. I didn't fucking know that. So I'm running my ass down the street and everyone's laughing at me. And only recently did I find out that no, they actually are just pretty. And now they're my favorite thing in the world. But I've been running from them for 10 years.
Oh,
I ran from them more than I ran from my emotions. That's a fucking fast run.
Oh my God.
That's run. That's a fast. What are you Googling, Karin? Are you Googling June bugs?
No. I already know what you guys have in Australia. It's crazy over there.
Well, you didn't even go to Bondi. You don't know everything. Here,
no, of course I don't know everything.
In Queensland, that's where everything can kind of, I think they've got crocodiles and alligators that people have brought over. Because I know, but Aussies are so, when it was flooding somewhere in the outback here, and there was like alligators that were coming over they were going over the fence into people's lawn, like 3 Aussie guys just like picked it up and put it back over, like we don't give a shit over here. But I will run from a lightning bug if I think it can electrocute me. So, we're not the smartest.
Australia's scary, man.
It's not though. But there have been some things that have happened to me, just with humans in general, that haven't happened to other people, especially in the area that I live in. Traumatizing, like shit that I've grown up with. That when people hear about it, they're like, really? And in that area, that's happened to you? Like just some pretty traumatic shit. That's happened. But otherwise, the real dangerous shit, apart from redback spiders, if I go through the list of things, just check your shoes. And if you've got like a door that you have to open like that, like, a car door, and I don't know what this motion is, but you have to lift up, just put like a key or something underneath it just to make sure you don't touch a spider while you're doing it.
Wasn't it like
and
toilet seats
spiders
too?
go into snails. Sorry?
Toilet seats? Don't you have to check your toilet seats?
this is outback stuff. Like, I mean, you can, and sometimes I will, if it's really hot, the insects come in, but we've got exterminators that come and just spray everything. So it will die. Like the other night, I should send you all this. It's a really, I don't know, it's a horrible video, but so I could see something climbing in from the bottom of my, at the door from there's like a little, hole, a gap. And I could see something climbing in. So I'm screaming bloody murder for my dad to get up. I don't know why. I can generally do it myself, but I'm not feeling well, so I'm a child. So my dad, I don't know what that is climbing in. I don't know. I didn't know if it was a spider. I don't know what type of spider it was. That's another thing. I don't know if it was a cockroach. All I could see was like, this is the door. All I saw was like this. It's fucking huge. I don't know, dark colored thing, because didn't have the lights on. So my dad gets close. I'm pushing him. He's like, stop pushing me. We're literally we're like the Golden Girls. It's just ridiculous. Like Dorothy and whatever her mom's name was. Sophia. I'm Sophia though. My dad's Dorothy. So I'm like pushing my dad to go and get it. And he's like, it's a cockroach. So relax. I'm like, oh, okay, my dad's allergic to cockroaches. I'm like, that's why you were fucking sneezing. So we go and get the fly spray to, get it out. When I tell you this was somebody's grandfather, like this was the biggest cockroach I've seen in a long time. But I don't know if it's because I've been in America and there's no cockroaches in LA really. But this was one, like where I reside, I'll say. I haven't seen one this big in a long time. I was like, this is like, I feel bad for killing this one. It's huge.
Listen, it scared you. Survival of the fittest.
Now I've got like, I've now resorted to putting like it's survival of the fittest. Clearly I'm the fittest because my dad didn't want to get it, so I had to. But we now put a towel at the bottom there. You put plugs in all the drains because they can climb up through the pipes. That's how a lot of snakes come into people's houses, through the toilets, through the pipes. Oh. But again, that's Northern Territory and stuff. Not really Sydney.
People choose to live in places like that.
What's up with the kangaroos attacking people? Those are some of the funniest, wildest videos.
But they're not kangaroos. Well, red kangaroos are more dangerous than the gray kangaroos, right? If you go up to them and if these people are hunting who are getting attacked by them, they're going out there or they're taking their dogs for a walk in kangaroo territory. They come out early in the morning, late at night. Or not late at night, sorry, like in the morning, sunrise, sunset, dawn, dusk. They come out. Now, if you're going out, they generally shy away. They don't want anything to do with us. If you go up to it though, if your animal goes up to it and it's not on a leash, and they're generally trying to save their animal. I saw that guy get punching on with the kangaroo. He's just trying to save his dog. I think once he got his dog, he could have gotten out of there. But I think the kangaroo had it in a headlock. I don't know. Yeah. But you don't want to fuck around with a red kangaroo.
Wow, I never knew that. It's insane to see.
They can punch once they get on their tail. You run. Wow. Run once they go back on their tail. It's like getting kicked by a horse. Oof. Well, it's not the same, but it's like, don't walk behind a horse if you don't want to get kicked by a horse. Don't ever stand behind a horse.
Huh. The animals of Australia.
You guys, I'm gonna have nightmares.
Because of what?
Of everything.
Where I live, it's fine. It's great here. Get the sea breeze. I don't have all of the issues that people in the Northern Territory. The Northern Territory, let's say Queensland, is like Miami, Florida. They get the storms. They get the wild stories coming from there. They're a bit more conservative. Some of them, and a lot of the scary bugs are there. Not really here. So I'm content here. Oh. Were you scared when you were here? You didn't go to Bondi, but were you scared when you were here?
No, but I think I was there when it was kind of cold, so
they're still coming.
Bugs weren't out.
No snakes, snakes.
But sometimes I think about how lucky we are that we're not living in an era of dinosaurs.
I think about that too sometimes.
Because like if there was like a pterodactyl flying around in the air, while you're like walking around the street and there's
I'm good.
A huge dinosaur bird and it just poops. Didn't you get pooped on recently?
3 fucking times in 3 days.
Be happy that it wasn't a pterodactyl.
It was on my head, and then it was on my shoe, and then it was right as I was getting in my car.
Be happy it wasn't a pterodactyl.
Now, is Australian bird poop bigger or different? You have
your
bigger birds over there?
No, your seagulls are massive. Our seagulls are like tiny. I think it's a different breed of seagull. They've got to be. It's different. Our birds, no. We've got different ducks and
All right.
different geese here, I think. Here we go.
There's this app that this Google engineer built called A Positive Place that helps you.
Oh yeah, I saw you post that. I want to
helps
see
you
it.
think so whenever something negative happens, it's the same people who built ChatGPT. Whenever something positive happens, you can post the story. I mean, sorry, something negative happens, you post it in the thing, and then it'll give you a positive spin. So
Outlook on it.
A bird pooped on me.
Well, everyone says it's good luck. I'm waiting for it then.
Let's see what they're saying. They're thinking it could be a sign as good luck, but let's see what else. That's not true. It could be a sign of luck in some cultures. Okay, so according to superstition, it's good luck, but like honestly,
I'm not a superstitious
I think
person.
that they only say that to people because
you feel
they feel bad because you just got pooped on.
You
know?
just got pooped on.
You just got shit on.
All right, give me another negative thing. I'll see what they say. This Google engineer built it because people were told him he was being too negative.
Who's we?
What do you mean?
You said we were being too negative. Who's we?
No,
Like society?
they're saying that he was being too negative.
Oh.
Oh, you're so negative. So he built this like auto app.
Imagine having like your friends just create an app based on you.
I know, isn't that great? No, he created it to make
Oh,
himself.
himself. I don't like something, so I'm just going to build an app
Well,
that's going to
it's
completely
really interesting. It's got AI in it. All right, let's give it a negative thing. What's negative?
I feel ugly today. My everyday mantra when I wake up.
That's not really negative. You feel ugly? That's a feeling.
I am ugly.
All right.
Just take the feel out of it. I don't...
You have unique features that make you special.
Aww.
Another one. You are uniquely beautiful and have amazing qualities that make you special.
It's just so.
Give me another negative. Give me another negative.
I said, so let me tell you this. I was wearing, this is 2015. I was going out with some friends and I was wearing a crop top. You call it a crop top, whatever. You can see my stomach. And I said to my dad, does my stomach look flat? And he goes, just a bit lumpy. I grew up with
my mom told me I was round.
Well,
sorry, Andy. What is
coming from the woman who wouldn't lie to Waka Flocka, I see you
see
tell
a pattern.
Yeah, I exactly.
Yeah, you see my dad's brutally honest. I don't know who's more honest.
You are too, though, and that's what I love about you is just the no filter, the what's on my mind. That's what I'm going to speak, and I wish more people would do that. I
do it in therapy though, and sometimes I've got a unique clientele who can handle it. And sometimes I'll tone it down a bit, obviously. I'm not going to be like, you fuckwit, are you doing this again? I'll be like, oh no, we're doing this again, are we? I'll do that. I'll just take out the names. Now, yeah. I don't want to get into it too much, but your clientele that you deal with, is it from all over the world or is it from specifically? Literally.
Okay.
Everywhere.
So now let me ask you that's an important thing that I'd like to know. The sarcasm, the sense of humor, how much does that change from
no.
What parts of the world don't have it?
So in Middle East, I have to be a bit more careful. England, and we get it. New Zealand, I get it. When I get Australian clients though, we don't really match that well on that platform. Now I've got my own platform, but on that platform when they come, I think they want an American. So I don't know if they match me up because I'm a contractor. So they just send me clients as I need, or as I deem like I need more or I want more. But I think that my sarcasm for a lot of people, it's like, oh my God, I can joke about this now. Because I talk a lot about men's mental health. So I get a lot of the men. Because I think it's very, very important. So the sarcasm is like, oh, we can joke, we can banter, especially if we call them tradies, like a builder or, someone in that industry, chippy, carpenter or electrician, things, people like that, they banter a lot. So it's good to have that banter because they can talk, but not too much because it's defense. So I'll do it and then I'll go, you're doing it too much. What's happening? So I can call it out as well. So I use it to my advantage. So it's good. That's where my acting ability comes in. So I can get into different people's heads and become them. That sounds a bit weird, doesn't it?
Okay. So real quick, I want you to become me and then I want you to become KARIN. real quick.
That's called Gestalt therapy. So there is a Gestalt therapy. If you don't look this up now, Karin, I'll explain it to you.
Okay.
So there's this Clint Eastwood tried to do this, but I think he failed a little bit. So you have two chairs, right? Let's just say, and let's just say one of you have an issue with a friend, and you want to figure out where they're coming from, and the therapist is going to try and help you with that. So you'll talk to the friend and say everything you want to say. Let's just say it's mummy issues, right? You want to talk to your mum and say, like, you've been treating me this way my whole life. And then you go and sit in the other chair and you answer yourself as you would your mum. So you get in their head. And then you go back and you sit down in your chair and you answer. So you get a good understanding. So you literally answer how they would. So wow. I don't have enough energy right now to answer like Karin would, because she does this and she's like, oh my God, all up in the camera like this. And like, and then this is what happened. Or she's like this. Hang on, I'll tell you in a minute. So the Earth's rotation becomes, oh, hang on, I found something better. Okay. So
oh, I love the two of you. I just love the two of you together.
With a different shell. Like, I will talk to her and there's 12 different facts that I find out when I just asked her what she wants to eat for dinner. It's interesting.
Let me ask you, what connects the two of you? Because the two of you, it seems like there's some budding, but it's love between the two. And it's the connection of finding how the piece of the puzzle goes together. And the two of you together, I think, is just a wonderful combination. It doesn't seem like it would work, but again, I just love the two of you together.
Really? I feel like you would know pretty easily that it
We're like, it's like Dory and the whale, where she's going around going, and the whale's kind of like, all right, we're just gonna go along here. That's what we're like. But the thing with Karin and I, sometimes I can be on her level as well, but it's just only when I'm in intimate space with people I know. When I'm around people I don't know, I'm very quiet and I shut down.
Whoa, wait a second. Is that true, Karin?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
I won't talk. You won't hear me talk. You won't see me. I'm in the background.
ALISA is really weird.
Well, I'm the same way too. I can be out in a public place too, and I'm very animated, very outspoken. But if I'm not feeling it, I'll disappear in a corner and I'll be a wallflower. Exactly. It's
yeah. I'll just stand in the same place. I sit, even if I'm in the middle of everything, I won't move. I just won't talk to anyone. I like to observe my surroundings. That's trauma based. But for me, I'll just speak on me. What I really appreciate about Karin and why our friendship is really strong is no one accepts me. That's weird. Accepts me unconditionally as much as she has for the duration that she's known me, through changes, through 7-minute, 20-minute vents, through I don't know, everything, through like negative things that like energy that I may have been feeling, or stories about guys in the past or whatever. She's just been there and I don't feel judged. Maybe I won't agree with what she says or, what she does, or same with me, but she's just unconditionally. So it's going to get a bit dark and whatever, but there was a few years ago, I've attempted something that wasn't great. And she was the only one that reached out to my dad to see if I was all right and kept in contact with him, because I was off social. I was off everything. I was just keeping myself safe. And she's the only one that kept checking in on me. She's not getting anything out of me. She's it's not like I'm some famous person. If anything, would be, like if she knows people, like there's nothing she needs to get out of me from me. She's got her own resources. So she genuinely cares about me. You can't find that in people that often these days. You can if you dig deep, but they have to want to be like that. So I think we've got a mutual, unconditional love for each other that no matter what, that's there. We can argue, we can disagree, we can think, okay, that's ridiculous, I'm not doing that.
It builds up over time though, like I
think it happened straight away, because you accepted my antics, because I was pretty wild when you fucking met me. I was very wild when you met me.
So was I.
For me, because I was so gone, I was more wild than you. Like I was like, let's go out, and you were like, I need to work, and I'm like, fuck work. What do you need work for? So, and now I've calmed down a lot, and I don't want to step foot in a club, but I say this like I wasn't in one 2 weeks ago, but there was different circumstances. I was seeing friends, Marshall. So I think that's, for me, the loyalty and the consistency. For me, there's a lot of consistency, loyalty. She's trustworthy. Like if I tell her something, we don't generally gossip. Like there's no like gossip. We don't really just sit there and talk shit about people. We'll vent about a situation and talk about it, but we're not going to sit there and get off on somebody else's misfortunes. I think there's a mutual understanding there. So we do have a few things in common in that sense, where we don't find like fun in other people's misfortunes. We want to spread kindness. We just want to live our best lives as, you know, in a way that we're just unproblematic. So we can both be a little bit unproblematic. We can both be a little bit problematic. So, you know, I think it evens out our personalities. However, I'm extremely introverted, hypervigilant. She will let anyone in and see the good in them. I'm the opposite. I do not let anyone in, and I generally see the issues first. So I'm very like, and then later she'll see if I was right. That I was right, not if. But either way, she still accepts. So that's my perspective of what's brought us like to this point, where it's just kind of like a sisterhood here, where, you know, again, we may not agree, we may not always be the same. It doesn't matter. There's that foundation that's really strong that we don't. It's not a friendship of convenience.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way I can put that. So these are what my voice notes sound like.
That's very sweet. Very sweet. The energy we've talked connected on an energy. I think that we all feel the same way. We want the same things. We want I'm getting a message. My internet connection is unstable, so we'll see what happens here, but we're still going.
It just paused for a second.
Yeah, I think it's back again. It's the energy. It's great people. I think when you find someone that's made from the same stardust as you just connect with them, and you don't know why. You may, like you said, you may not agree on everything. You may not have all the same interests, but you can sit down and you can just have a conversation about something or about nothing, and it fulfills you.
Yeah, most of the time it's about nothing, but either way, it's fulfilling. Like we'll just talk about random whatever, and sometimes it can be about deep things. I'm a bit more I don't want to say deep, but there's different levels of deep between us, and we've also got different love languages. So when I'll speak about something else, I get very passionate about humans and their behaviors and behaviors towards me and things like that. I've got my own issues, whereas Karin's like, don't take it personally. It's a bit more, not superficial, but it's a bit more surface level. Like nothing really can bother her that much where she'll lose sleep over it, unless it's directly, you know, I think a loved one. For her, this is what I've recognized for her, like she's not here. So that's my understanding. So when I speak, I have to understand that I might say something and her response isn't going to be like, oh my God, that's so, like, it's going to be like, you know, it's more solution focused. Whereas for me, I go deeper into things like, okay, well, you know, how about we build up your self-worth or something? This is something else. Like, how is this affecting you? Or generally, actually, it's happened a few times, and I don't know if you remember, I don't want to bring up names and people, but some things have happened to Karin after similar things have happened to me. And the things that she said to me are like, you know, don't take it personally, but when it happens to her, she's like, oh, that sucks. And I'm like, nah, you see? And I think it happened recently, a few months ago as well. And she's like, that does suck. I don't want to deal with that energy. And she's quick to like, go, it's done. Not again. I don't want to go through this. Yeah. You don't deal with that.
I don't have a lot of patience or tolerance for BS.
And neither do I. The difference is I like to give people second chances and third chances. I live once, so you kind of only get one with me, but I like to see if there's something I can do to fix or, you know, resolve first before I completely annihilate. I used to delete and block straight away without giving anyone a chance, but I've recognized now I'm hurting myself and them. I've got an opportunity to grow here and learn, because maybe it takes 2, sometimes it takes 7, I don't know. So I'd rather hear out the other person and give it a try. And then, because if the other person doesn't know that they've done something that's annoyed you, it's turned into a TED talk now. If Karin does something and she doesn't know it's annoying me, how can she stop if I haven't told her it's annoying me? So I have to give her an opportunity, let her know, listen, like when you comment that my nostrils are flaring, that irritates me, stop bringing it up. She's never said this in her life. Then she'll know. And if she does it again, then I can be like, look, I've told you, and you've done it again. Oops, I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to, you know, reprogram my brain. After that, if it's done again, you're out. Like, I'm not
That's important. I
Then
think
I
we
withdraw
all
from the
we all
altogether.
need to do that. We all need to learn. We all need to grow. I'm 53 years old, I think. I forget after 50 what it was.
You don't
But
look at it,
yeah,
honestly.
but the thing is,
You-
you get to that point where you just realize that you have to keep learning. You have to keep growing. You have to
Corinne's
keep.
good at that.
Corinne, let's hear your perspective on all of this.
She learns on everything. She asks the questions where I'll just sit there and be like, I'm ready to late. She'll ask every question that there fucking is to ask, and then the question about the question that she forgot. And that's how she's so smart, because she learns. Whereas I'm like, I'm not interested. Where she'll, even if she's not interested, she'll ask the question to make it interesting.
That's probably true. I think I'm going to take this back a little bit. I think what connects me and ALISA is that we are both strange.
I think I understand that. I think that's a fair word. I
You
understand
see
that.
what I mean? How I'm deeper and she
Yeah.
goes superficial. I
Wait,
did a
wait,
whole
I have more.
and she's like, we're strange.
I have
That's it.
more. I have more. I also think that I think we have a similar sense of humor, and I think that's important. We also, I think it's like kind of the sense of humor, and also like not necessarily common enemies, but we get pissed off about similar things. That's another thing that I think probably bonds us.
Nothing brings two people closer than a mutual hate for something or someone.
Right.
And
And-
something we don't like hate.
I don't know. I mean, maybe we were like siblings in another life or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, because we definitely connected pretty quickly and got really close really fast.
Oh, within the first meeting, we were just hanging out every other day with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually surprised at that, because I'm surprised why you not chose me, but like adopted me into your life versus other people that you've met. And I think because of the time you're in the industry, so you saw a lot of people just kind of using it. Whereas for me, I was just like, I don't care who's who and what's what. So I think that you saw that there was a difference. And I think you told me that.
Really liked you. And I think it's like,
you told me that once ages ago. You said, because I haven't changed. I don't change with status quo or whatever. Not that I've got status quo, but I don't change either way, no matter who I'm around.
no, but I've always liked you.
That's good to know. I appreciate it. It's good to like things.
It's who you have. It's such an interesting chemistry that the two of you have. It's entertaining, and the two of you should really, if anybody should have a show, it should be the two of you. You should have a camera. You guys need to go on vacation and have like a camera crew, just like follow you guys around. You're next.
That would be we did something similar in Austin. We did a few lives, and actually that's the most views I ever got on my lives ever when we were together. And I don't generally get that many, even though I've got a lot of followers. I think they're mainly bots. I don't know where they've come from, but they don't.
Pretty funny together.
It's a chemistry, it's an honesty, it's an ease. I guess, like you just said, sisters in a past life. You're just connected. You're different, but you're connected.
Yeah. What do you think connects you, Andy, with us? Because we have a deep connection. We both speak quite highly of you behind your back. So
I
I'm
think
one for compliments. So Karin's more of a, she'll tell you to your face. I'll tell you I'll tell people behind their back what I think of somebody as a nice thing.
Again, I want to chalk it up to my 50-something years here on this planet learning. I've learned an awful lot in my life, in my career, in things that I've seen. I've been fortunate enough to be on the other side of the velvet rope, like you guys have seen a lot of things. And I think when you find, I guess the best word is real. When you find someone who is real, when you find someone that has an open, and to me, I think an open and honest sense of humor, I think, is the realest thing to me. And if you can joke and laugh about anything, and if you can understand that I'm going to joke and laugh about things that may be uncomfortable, but I'm going to do it because it's my life. I may joke and laugh about something, and this is where it comes into, you may have to tell me, I may cross a line, But like you said, you would just say, hey, maybe you crossed the line. I don't think I could possibly cross the line with you. But
I'll let you know.
Exactly. That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
it's that comfort of knowing that pretty much nothing is off limits. My comedy, when I get on stage, it's fun, it's funny, it does get deep, it does get dark. I do talk about what I go through with my son, with all of his medical issues, the family issues here in the house.
But that's just your strength as well. You can just release it in a comedic way instead of, you know, when it's just kind of a different perspective of it when you're at the house.
It's therapy. I think being able to laugh at anything, and the sense of humor that the two of you bring, and the realness and the perspective, and just the different opinions that you guys bring. And again, we've touched on, you touched on some things, and we've touched on some things. We've all been through some dark times. And again, I'm grateful because the two of you have been there during dark times. I know KARIN, and I know you way back when I gave up on the Bearded Babble. I know you kept pushing me, let's go, let's keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And it doesn't seem like much, but it's just a reminder that someone, and again, neither one of you have any stake in this. Any stake in if Bearded Babble takes off and I'm on NBC and I gotta, you know, you have absolutely no stake in it. You do it because you care, because you see someone that you care about, that you feel a certain way about. You can't explain what it is, and is it from here? It's from here. And you can't explain that. I can't give you the words to say why I connect and feel the way I feel about the two of you. It's energy. It's just energy. It's just a good person. It's in this world of so much phoniness and so much negativity. And again, you've seen it, the backstabbing and the people that you see in a public place together that are friends. And then you know that they're not friends. They're not friends. It's to find real people.
Growing up, I think she would have seen it a lot when she was working in the industry. When you were working in the industry, KARIN, you would have seen it a lot.
You know what's funny? When I left the industry, like when I worked in entertainment and I had all these hookups or whatever, I remember being like thinking that when I left, I was like, I'm going to lose a lot of friends.
You didn't, because your personality is real and they're not used to that.
That's crazy. I was so surprised that so many people actually like wanted to still be my friend.
You're a good energy. You're light. That's why you're not a heavy, dark energy, and people can feel
like still you can't. I can't give you anything. You know, like why are you?
You can give.
I guess I thought it was more transactional.
You can give a feeling, and that's priceless.
Yeah,
that's a good observation, and that's true.
Yeah, you can't put a price on the feeling that you get from certain people. Like I said, just you can even ask like Jenny. Like I was like excited, like when I got that message from you yesterday, and I said, no offense, I said get the kangaroo, and she knew exactly who I was talking about.
And not an insult.
Well, exactly. It's when she came back with 7, I was just like, I've been like this all day. I've just been excited about this.
Often then, because it brings us all glee.
We can do these.
I've never said that fucking word in my life. Unless I've said change the channel, glee's on.
We can do this as a regular thing whenever you want to.
I
would love to do this. I'm starting to get people now. I'm starting to get some people that I'm going to be able to get on. But
awesome.
And you start worrying about things, and I'm just like, this is what I needed, because this is familiar. These are two old friends. These are two people that I love. And it's just sitting back and going, hey, we're just having a conversation. That's all it is.
That's literally all it is. And that's what I like. I wish I could record a lot of the conversations I have with people. Well, there's only a few people that I have conversations with, but I wish I could record them, just because you want to keep them in your mind forever accurately. So I think if you want to do this more, I'm up for it, because it's self-soothing, almost self-care, to talk with friends and spreading that energy.
And the thing that's great, if people want to look back on my YouTube channel, you can scroll all the way down and you can look back to the IG lives that we used to do when you guys run.
When you first met me.
You will never, what we had here tonight is nothing near any one of the ones that we did back then. And that's the joy of it. It's, let's not plan anything. We don't say, hey, let's talk about this. We just jump on, we just catch up. We just see where each other are. We just share the love. And that's
It's a
that's all it
natural
is.
like a period, just a natural flow.
A period. I had my
But without
period here
pain.
tonight with
Just without the pain in the blood.
so maybe once a month we should get together for the period show.
I think that's a good idea.
Really
Boobs and beard on the period show.
I don't think we should call it that.
I
think if ALISA had a show though, I think calling it something around PMS or something would be suiting.
I don't get PMS. I'm always.
I know, but you're always cranky, so it's just funny.
So I don't. That's not PMS. That's just a personality trait.
I know, but still, it could be funny, the PMS show.
But in saying that, that's what we were saying. Like, you know, as light and, you know, as gentle as I can be sometimes, that cranky, the bitchy side can come out when I'm not comfortable in the area like that I'm in. Because again, certain people, I don't know if others can relate, that if you've been through some trauma and you go into a room and there's like 100 people in there, you can feel if there's someone in there that's not okay, that's toxic. And then all it takes is a little bit of mold to spread. So that's another reason why I like this environment. It's safe. There's no mold here.
I agree with that. You can know sometimes you can walk into a room, you can get a look from somebody and it can just, yeah, I agree 100%.
Karin will know. I tell her straight away, I don't like this person. We've gone for lunch with a friend of hers once ages ago. And I was like, this is why this person will never see me again. And she's like, then I told why. She's like, oh yeah, I didn't. I was like, does this person treat you this way? No, that's why.
It's just reading energy. And again, it's just energies just aren't always going to mix. I'm extremely grateful that our energies mix the way they do.
I love it.
I absolutely do. And we definitely are going to make this a monthly show. We're going to
have to do it. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
We're gonna why not? Listen, I got no problem. We can do that. I think we're gonna have to do a flow show. We're gonna have to do a monthly flow show without a doubt, because it's good for everybody.
Monthly flow. So let's look at my calendar. I'll be back in America by then. So it'll be good because then you'll be on East and I'll be on Pacific. So it'll be a bit closer in time as well.
Yeah, let's do it.
When you get back to America, are you going to be getting back to the East Coast or are you just going to be West Coast?
West Coast. I want to come to the East Coast.
Oh, ALISA, I'm going to be in San Diego. Oh no, that's in April.
What the fuck does that have to do with where I live?
Well, I was thinking I'm going to be in San Diego, so maybe we can meet and we could do this together in person, us together.
Oh yeah.
That's why if you make it out here to the East Coast and Karin's here in Philly at the time, we're going to have to all sit down here on the couch and actually.
I want to come out there, but I've got the Airbnbs there are ridiculously expensive.
Airbnbs where?
In New York.
So you don't go to New York, come stay with me.
In New Jersey.
Huh?
In New Jersey or Philly?
I'm not in New Jersey, I'm in Philly.
Or she's right next to Jersey.
Yeah, we can do that. We can.
Donnell has a show in Philly in April too.
Well, I'll be back in March, and actually March the 19th, it's the 19th here today. So literally a month from now is still a Sunday. So we can figure it out. But
absolutely.
I'm good to do that. And I might make a surprise visit to the East Coast when it's a bit warmer, and then we'll be on the same schedule. And you can see when we're together, it's even more amusing. I don't know how else to put it.
I'm sure it will be. I'm looking forward to that.
A lot more when we're together, and I'll sit there and look at her and I'll just say one or few words. And that's our routine, I think. Karin, that's what we were talking about, I think, when we were last time. Like that would be the routine. If we're on stage together, she would be the one telling the jokes and I would just look at her and say like 5 words and that would be the punchline.
And it would be wonderful. You guys really should do that. Really should. Now, Karin, you've been up on stage lately. Let's hear about that.
Wednesday.
Congratulations. And I'm proud of you and I'm inspired by you too.
Thanks.
So
Jason
keep going.
Steinberg. You know Jason Steinberg?
I know Jason. Yeah, Donnell's guy. I know Jason.
Yeah, so Jason set me up with that gig. And he also set me up with a comedy writer to help me write jokes that I'm meeting with on Monday.
Ooh.
But a lot of comedians have that.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything. Like a lot of people need that. Just it's like editing a book.
No, I
You just
know.
haven't-
I'm not upset by it. It's
Yeah.
just something I have to work on. So he gave me some hard feedback, man. Jason is he's not a light.
That's why he's done as manager, because he's got to be good.
He's like, you should cut all this stuff out of your jokes. And have you met Jason before?
Yes.
No.
Okay. So Andy's met him before. So Jason is like, he's like a really nice guy, but he's got this like kind of like really hard to read face. And
I like him already.
Very like kind of still and a little like he could be a little awkward. And like it's just funny because like you'll talk to him and you're like, you can't really tell sometimes if he's like mad at you. And he's like, you went over your time. That's not cool. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then the lady, Janice, was like, I loved her. She was so great. And Jason's just over there like, nope, got to cut this out. And he'll say it like this too. He'll be like, you have to cut that whole part out. He's like, and the second part, he's like, you need to punch up all your jokes. I'm going to set you up with a comedy writer. I'm like, okay, you're scaring me, Jason.
You can learn a lot though. I mean, it's amazing. I've been fortunate enough to learn from a lot of people, a lot of the greats. Sometimes just those little things, like I said, just the cutting down a joke, just taking a couple of words out of a joke sometime can make it just unbelievable. Just the short. You look at someone like a Bill Burr. Bill Burr's jokes, he has sentence jokes. Every sentence that comes,
my favorite.
Yeah, every sentence that comes out of his mouth is a joke. That's how short I mean, it's just getting to the point. And I understand that too, because when I first started getting on stage too, it was this. Now this becomes this, and it actually is better. So it's actually great advice coming from someone who knows it.
Totally.
You have to cut it out, and you have to get just the meat of it, and then put that out there.
Sorry, it's getting near my bedtime.
I think it depends as well what type of comedy you do. Like there's observational and then there's storytelling. Like Chris Rock is more storytelling. Dave's more storytelling. Donnell is like, punchline, but there's like a bit of a story beforehand. There's observational, like Carl Barron, who's Australian.
Yeah,
so,
definitely a lot of different styles. I have to figure that out. I told Jason that too.
Observation. I'm observational. You're storytelling. And so that's why we click. Sometimes I say less things than you.
Mm-hmm.
So do we have shows coming up, KARIN?
Maybe one in Princeton next weekend.
Oh yeah, you said that.
Yeah,
I want to see the footage.
We'll see.
How many minutes are you working on?
It's still just 5 minutes.
Okay, so listen, 5 minutes is a lot. It's not just still when you're up there on that stage, 5 minutes can seem like a lifetime. You know that.
Well, I always go over, but I think I have to just sharpen out that material. So it's like really, really good and very solid. And then I'll work. What
happens when you see the red light? Do you get anxious? Because I'd be like, shit, now I have to speak fast.
At the beginning I did, but then I started like, you just wrap up whatever it is you're doing. And then you also practice on timing. So like now, after I did this set with Jason, like I picked my favorite jokes, like what I did this past Wednesday. And it was three things. I was like, I'm talking about traveling with vibrators, my mom on Tinder, and then working out and picking up guys at the same time. And now I realized that like I have to cut one entire segment out. So like I can only have 2 in that 5 minutes. Now I could still work on the other one, but it's going to be in my next 5 minutes.
Traveling with vibrators, I'm sure other women have done it. I'm not a fan of women comedians that much, just because I maybe because I get it, or I'm just like I've said that or I've done that or whatever.
I think you would enjoy my stand-up.
But no, but I gave you feedback on one and I liked it. I get one of the first ones you've done. I really did like it because I know you and I know the way you were talking was funny. So I want to see
the two of you on stage together.
I don't know if I'll be that. I don't speak that much when she's talking, like in a big and like on a stage. If I don't know the people, she talks. I don't. Here, I'll talk. I mean,
we'd have to.
You'll see the dynamic's very different if I don't know people.
You guys could have some great back and forth content. Oh my gosh,
it will literally. What did I say when I had an old manager once and I was trying to talk and she talked over. KARIN, do you remember?
How old was he?
Who?
You said he was an old manager.
she was my old manager.
How old was
And
she?
we were in Austin and she was talking over me. Do you remember? And what did I say before I shut? That was like, all right.
Yeah.
And you found it
They
funny
were all
thing
talking over you.
yeah. And so, and then what did I say? I was just like, okay, well, I'm being talked over. So I just shut down. That's what
She said it out
here
loud.
I'm talking a lot. Yeah. Oh yeah. I said it to the manager. I was like, well, I'm just going to shut up then. I said it a few times and then I just shut my computer on everyone. I don't like being talked over.
Guys, I
But I
might have
think
to
that-
jump off shortly. This is like getting close to my bedtime.
What time is it now? Oh,
It's
it's like
9:30.
Oh,
So-
yeah, it is. It is almost that.
And it's a Saturday.
Well, listen, we
So
can
I'm
guess.
like staying up later than usual.
Yeah, Saturday night. I'm going to bed before 10. That's my wild and crazy Saturday nights.
Dude,
this
I
is it. This
We
is
can,
it. Oh, yeah, Sunday,
Listen,
yeah,
this
Sunday day.
has been wonderful. We're gonna do it again next month, and then hopefully at some point this year we'll actually all sit down together here on this couch and actually have
Yes.
a live babble. That'll be wonderful.
In the next few
Grateful
months,
again. I started this off thanking the both of you, and I want to end this thanking the both of you for
Andy, you're so great.
for who you are and for what you are. I cannot thank you enough. Again, just me being here doing this, a lot of it has to do with the two of you. So again, I am grateful for what you have given to me, what you do for me. And like I said, just today, just knowing that I was going to be on with you, there was a little bit more of a smile on my face today, just knowing that I was going to be here with you guys. So again, thank you for that.
Oh, we could also do more Stranger Dangers if you want.
Oh my gosh, please. Oh.
I saw that you had a podcast with Joe.
Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, I got a couple of people lined up and I'm getting there. And again, I'm not worried about getting big names. What I realized is I just want to talk to people because everyone has a story. Everyone has a great story to tell, whether you got 50 million followers or 50 followers. I just want to hear it and I just want to share it because one person hearing it changes. It's
everything. Yeah.
Good vibes. That's all.
You gotta get the real interesting ones though. You know what I mean? Get some good juicy meat. Like
listen,
the butcher.
There's nobody more interesting than the two of you. So again, I can't wait to do this.
There's
next month.
No one more interesting than the two of us. That is so true.
I think there are a couple of people more interesting than me. I hope so.
Totally joking. Obviously there's more interesting people than
I don't think so.
No, you're interesting. But
maybe the aliens that are starting to come down, but that's about it.
No, they're already here.
Wait to meet them. Maybe I'll find my boyfriend one of them because they're
Listen,
not on Earth.
Octopus.
Speaking of Karin, since you are connected to everyone, can you get me an alien on the show?
Octopus are aliens.
Oh, that I believe. Yeah, no, I agree with that.
There's this like bunch of scientists are theorizing that they are actually like created by aliens because they're
how many hearts? They have like, I don't know how many, couple of hearts, a couple of brains.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, a few eyes.
Well, it's not so much that it's like their genetic like composition like doesn't match like anything else in Earth.
I used to love eating that when I wasn't a vegetarian.
Or octopus aliens. All right, we're gonna close off with this.
There's also a video of her speaking to somebody on the phone, and I'm sitting there hungover as anything, and all you hear in the background is where, like, was it clams eat or something, or where they go to the bathroom, and it's the most, when you're hungover, you just don't want to hear this shit.
She's hungover, and I'm talking about how clams eat.
Literally. And then also where there's a missing shrimp from a tank somewhere, and I was just, you can just see my face. That's all. That's our comedy routine. Because again, when I'm around people I don't know, I don't speak as much, and whereas Karin's a lot quieter here. But when in public, when it's going to be the three of us, and if there's an audience ever, it'll be me a lot more quiet, just going like, here she goes. We're gonna go for it now. I'm gonna have to listen.
Okay, octopus are from space. I don't know. It's something with their DNA. I have to dig into this. I'll have to talk about it next time. But there's a new research paper that that octopus are actually aliens.
That's a jellyfish.
Same thing. They're definitely alien.
Jellyfish can kill you.
Yeah, it's a jellyfish.
Jellyfish can kill the shit out of you.
So this
you get what do they call blue ring octopus? They're Australian.
So this
people
paper
have stepped different things, but you want to die before you get bit or step on that.
This paper thinks that, or theorizes that the octopus are a result of cosmic rain of retroviruses that fell from space. And these retroviruses added new DNA sequences to Earth's terrestrial genomes.
When?
They didn't actually say how long ago it is.
Prince Purple Rain stuck in my head.
Yeah, so these marine animals were frozen in the state of
really good before bed. It's Sunday afternoon here.
That's right. It's Sunday
Anyway.
afternoon.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a nap because I'm not feeling 100%, but this is soothing.
So they're not sure if it actually happened, but it's possible.
If you think they're not sure if it really happened, I was wondering why I didn't. You know what? Just one thing quickly before we leave. What we're not turd in school. Did I say turd?
Turd. But we're not turd in school.
Oh my God. A turd is shit. Oh my God. Shit on my mind. What we're not taught at school, right? We're taught Pythagoras. I'm yet to fucking use this shit. We're not taught kindness, boundaries. We're not taught communication. Communication is more listening. We're not taught conflict resolution, conflict management. We're not taught about
emotions. We're not taught finance, accounting, investments,
taxing and all that. Yes, yes, taking logic area. Let me get to the point. If we keep it on the emotional side before we get to the taxes and all that, we're not taught about, you know, octopus being aliens and stuff, but we're taught Pythagoras. And it just drives me nuts that we're not taught that. And we have to learn it ourselves, and then we have to connect with people, which is a really nice thing. But that's organic. And I'm just curious what would happen if we were taught that at school, how if it would be organic or if people feel forced to do kindness acts. Like it's when I see people putting their camera on somebody that's experiencing hard times and they give them food, water, or money, I just find that revolting. Like imagine you're most vulnerable and somebody gives you something, you have to take it because otherwise you'll die or whatever. So I find that so interesting. But Karin's self-taught with everything. Well, you went to college, but you're self-taught with all this stuff. But yes, we're not taught taxes and stuff at school too, which is really harmful on the economy and everything, people. But I just wish we were taught more of that so that people could experience what we experience when we talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm not this mushy on a normal day. I've had a codeine tablet, so enjoy it while it lasts.
Well, let's hear for codeine and the mushiness.
Codeine, not recreationally. It's a prescription.
Again, this is the mushiness, whether it's codeine, whether it's us, whether it's the space dust, whether it's everything. Again, I'm grateful for the Babble, for the two of you. I'm grateful to have the two of you in my life. I'm grateful that I can reach out to you guys, that you can reach out to me at any time. And I'm grateful for what we're sharing here and what we're going to continue to share. That again, the smile is going to be here. And thanks to you guys for that. So
I love it.
I love it too.
And
I appreciate
so much love to you and your family. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Until the next one, the peace, the love, and the laughter.
Bye.